I'm a big fan of the Ys series, so whenever a new Ys game is coming, I have to play it. With Ys Memoire, The Oath in Felghana, I've actually already played it, since it's a remaster of a PSP game from 2010, which itself was a re-release of a 2005 PC game. So does this game hold up after 20 years? Yes, it does. It's fast-paced, fun, and with a really interesting story. But you need to know what you're getting. This is not like Ys 8, 9 or 10. This isn't a 3D game. It's a top-down action RPG. And while there are some quality of life improvements, it's fundamentally the same game I played on PSP years ago. Although the number was dropped from the title for this release, The Oath in Felghana was actually a remake of Ys 3. In this game, Adol travels with his friend Dogi to Dogi's hometown of Felghana, where the pair discover that monsters are attacking people and an ancient evil is emerging that must be stopped. The story developed perfectly with some surprisingly effective twists that I wasn't expecting. In the original, Adol didn't speak, but for this remaster he speaks a little bit. Not much though. Regardless, his character comes through in his actions, and the supporting cast were well developed. The final enemy could have had more of a part to play, but this is more than made up for with the other antagonists in the game. The gameplay is superb. It's fast, fun, and so easy to get into. You fight enemies with your sword and you acquire magic spells as the game progresses. The action is brilliant, and although it can be a bit button mashy, it's just really satisfying. That satisfaction is partly due to the sound effects that feel very apt to the game. Taking on a big group of enemies and unleashing a whirlwind attack that destroys them feels great. You can also really see and feel the difference to your strength and defense when you level up or upgrade your weapon and armor. There was a decent variety of enemy types too, and you have to vary up your approach how to deal with them. Many could be killed with straight attacks, but some needed a diving attack or magic to be able to dispatch them. The approach to this game is quite formulaic. You have a story scene, Adol goes to a dungeon and fights a load of enemies, he obtains an item that he needs, fights the boss and then goes back to town for more story before going to the next dungeon. This repeats a few times, but it didn't get old. The variety of the enemies in each dungeon and the bosses kept me from feeling bored. For this remaster, the graphics have obviously been improved, and the environments look really sharp, although the characters looked a little bit blurred. I played on PS5, and while it didn't spoil the game, it was distracting at times. I did like how the environments were varied, from the icy mountain to the lava cave, and the castle filled with zombie maids. Each dungeon did feel and look different. The most useful new feature for this remaster is Turbo Mode, the ability to speed up the gameplay. You'll need to backtrack quite a lot to explore areas, and you will end up going into the same room fighting the same enemies over and over. So speeding up the gameplay makes it feel like you're spending less unnecessary time searching for the right exit to a dungeon. For bosses though, I needed to go back to normal speed so I could properly see and avoid their attacks. There were over a dozen bosses in the game, and some of the boss fights were just great. They offered a good level of challenge. Difficult but not impossible. The music was brilliant, it suited the game perfectly, and some of the tunes were particularly catchy and had me humming them after I played. The voice acting was good for the most part, apart from a couple of characters. There was just one aspect of the game I didn't enjoy, which was the platforming. Platforming in 3D with a fixed camera can be tricky, and especially here, there isn't a great sense of depth in the graphics, so I ended up falling a lot when trying to get through some platforming sections. There were only 3 or 4 areas like this in the game, but these bits were frustrating at times. Overall, this is a really fun, old-school action RPG. Graphically, musically, in terms of the plot and gameplay, this game is great. The remaster hasn't added a massive amount, but the game was already good, so I really enjoyed playing it again on modern hardware and getting trophies. So guys, are you planning to pick up Ys Memoire Oath in Felghana? And if you played it already, what did you think? Leave a comment below, and as always, thanks for watching.